Perimenopause is technically the 10 years before menopause. Most women go into menopause in the United States between 52, maybe 54, like that's the normal. So you want to start supporting yourself the best that you can in this season of life. Hello, friends, and welcome to the Honeycast. I'm answering your top 10 questions, and a lot of them have to do with weight loss and belly fat. But this one question, I love talking about this because when I first started in perimenopause, which is what I'm going to be talking about, it was a very rough season for me, and I really thought I was going crazy. And I did not have any support during that time. I had nobody telling me that you're not going crazy, you're fine, this is normal, but definitely you don't have to suffer and go through this. There's support, here's education, you're going to be fine. I did not have any of that. And I was a freakazoid wreck for many years. And it was because of my hormones. And it was also because of life in my season. So I want to talk a little bit about perimenopause because I've talked to some of you and you're like, yeah, I don't know if I'm in perimenopause or not, or I just admitted I'm in perimenopause. It's like you don't even know where you are with this. So what I'm going to tell you is this information is really just educational for you to identify where you are and maybe get the support that you need. And also, I just want to tell you that it's going to get better and you're not crazy and you can figure this out and there's lots of support. This is really in perimenopause when you want to really start looking at what you're doing to yourself. Are you overdoing it? Are you overcommitting? Are you completely strung out? Are you not sleeping? Are you nourishing your body? Are you taking care of yourself at all? Are you doing any type of self-care? Are you under exercising? Are you over exercising? Are you flying by the seat of your pants? This is the time when the buck stops here. You really want to stop. And if you continue that type of behavior and treating yourself, it's really not going to go well in menopause. I mean, I don't want to be a bearer of bad news, but I will say this is a wake-up call. So perimenopause, you guys, can start as early as your late 30s. I've had several clients at around 38. They're starting to experience perimenopausal symptoms like they feel a little bit more anxious. They're not sleeping. They are having PMS, like major PMS. Their cycles are either shorter, longer, heavier. They're more bloated. They have digestive issues. Their hair might be falling out or changing. Their skin is changing. Even in your late 30s, perimenopause is technically the 10 years before menopause. Most women go into menopause in the United States between 52, maybe 54, like that's the normal. But many can go earlier, either surgically induced or they just go earlier for different reasons. And of course, some people can go later. But a couple things that I think that we're told is that you can't be in perimenopause in your 40s, which that's not true. It's 10 years before. So mine started around 46 because my last pregnancy was at 44. So mine was a little bit later. People think you can't be treated with HRT if you are in perimenopause. Not true. Not true. Now, you want to work with somebody that knows what they're doing. Your regular gynecologist will tell you, get on the pill or get on an antidepressant. Antidepressant, you might need that for depression, but it is not the answer for lack of hormones. The pill, some doctors will use that in different scenarios, but there are other things such as bioidentical hormone replacement that can be your friend when you're in that perimenopause season, when you're heading into menopause. Especially progesterone can be helpful, and even low-dose estrogen creams or patches when you're working with somebody that knows what they're doing. Is there a test for perimenopause? Not really, because you're going to be all over the place. One day you might be high in estrogen, the other day you might be low, you might be all over the place. Most times it's symptomatic. If you're working with a practitioner that knows what they're doing, they're going to look at your symptoms and they're going to treat you based on your symptoms, and they're going to follow you and treat you and test you. Sometimes people will do tests, Dutch test, whatnot, or they will help you. They will listen to your symptoms and how you're feeling, and they'll change things based on that. So there are so many things that you can do for yourself in perimenopause. Some of you may be already having hot flashes. Some of you may be having night sweats. Some of you may really not be having too many things, but maybe you're just not feeling right. You're just feeling off. Maybe like I said, your gut, maybe your gut is off. These are all hormone related. Normally, unless you have something underlying, this is a very common time for these hormones to start causing issues. Our gut starts to change. Really, everything starts to change. And by the end of menopause, you're going to have a whole new gut and a whole new brain, believe it or not. So, what I want to say is you want to start supporting yourself the best that you can in this season of life. That is with proper nutrition, daily movement and exercise, self-care. You might need to start saying no to things. I know there's things that you can't say no to. I remember those days. I've got 9 kids. We homeschooled. I started a business 4, 6 years ago. Teenagers, mental illness, crisis, all kinds of stuff. And you might, sometimes it's aging parents, sometimes it's grandkids, but you want to start creating space for yourself. You want to start saying no to things. You want to start checking in with yourself. How am I doing? What do I need? Am I giving myself what I need? Self-care is the biggest thing that you can start with in this season, is where you're just checking in and you're just making sure that you're taking care of yourself. Because when the hormones walk out the door, we are less resilient. We're more apt to get stressed in so many ways. And the stressors that used to not be stressors when we're younger are stressors when we're in midlife. Lack of sleep, stress, poor nutrition, no movement, all of those are stressors. And what they will cause is a hormone imbalance. And the hormone imbalance also can lead to blood sugar issues and weight gain and inflammation, and even set us up for disease, which sets in midlife. So if you're wondering if you're in perimenopause, if you're 10 years prior to 52, 54, more than likely you are. And you want to start educating yourself. You want to take a look, take a look where you are right now and what's going on in your life and what you can do to start taking care of yourself, to start preparing yourself for the menopausal years. And a lot of that can be done just with what you're putting in your body, how you're moving your body, and how you're loving yourself and your body. So main things I would look at is start getting good sleep. Say no to things that you can say no to. Give yourself downtime, rest time, fun time, creativity. Do something that you love. Don't always just stay in the need. I have to do this, and duty. I have to do this, and I have to show up for this. You're going to drain yourself. You're going to drain those adrenals. Let's create some oxytocin. Do something that you love. Take time for you. Nourish yourself, ladies. Let's get rid of the junk. Let's get rid of the things that you know are not serving you, that don't make you feel good. Let's start nourishing ourselves with good food and with hydration. And talk to your doctor. But first of all, find a doctor that knows what they're doing for women in midlife. They're going to be specialists. They're going to be functional practitioners. They're going to be integrative practitioners. They are going to help you. It is worth it. You are worth it. I know that they are going to cost more. Insurance is probably not going to pay for it. It is worth it. Sell something. I'm serious. You are worth it. It is a priority. When you have that support, you can feel really good. I'm not saying you're not going to have a transition, because you are, but you can support yourself well. And guess what? When you're supported well, you are going to support others well. That's what we do, right? It's not just so that I can feel great. I'm supporting 9 children and 2 grandchildren and a husband and a business and family members and friends and more, and you, all my followers. I want you to be healthy so that you can do and be who God wants you to be and fulfill His destiny in you. And so when we aren't considering ourselves, because it's so easy to consider everybody else and just get sucked in, and a lot of times feeling resentful and upset and sad and mad and angry and all kinds of things. Realize too, in midlife, some of those emotions are going to come out, and it's good. It's a wonderful time to take a look at unresolved issues. I'm not saying go look for them. I'm just saying when they come up, let's spend some time thinking about it. Let's spend some time processing. Let's spend some time with a counselor or with journaling or with a friend, or just acknowledging where you are. I say this because I've gone through this. I'm in menopause now. I'm in a much better place, still not optimized with my hormones, still have issues, but in a much better place than I was when I started this journey. And I have walked with hundreds of women doing exactly what we're all doing. And every single one of you have needed to hear, you are worth it. It's time for you to take care of you. I'm not saying put you first, although I'm okay with that, but I'm just saying it's time for you to stop and you do something for you. I can't tell you how many ladies I talk to on discovery calls that are crying because they're exhausted and they don't know what to do next and they feel out of control and they're 20 pounds overweight. And if that's you, there's something that you can do about it. And so I want to acknowledge you. So hopefully this will help any of you that are even in menopause. Maybe you're not even in perimenopause anymore. But my job is to let you guys know that you don't have to suffer. It really is optional. So hopefully this has been helpful if you're in perimenopause. If you are in menopause, you do need some support. You guys, you know where I am. I have several different programs. I have some one-on-one type programs. I've got some group coaching. I've got some free resources for you guys to learn and implement and figure out how to take care of you in your midlife season.